So as you saw, the simulation is basically made up of some torus, or any kind of shape you really want, torus spheres colliding with each other, and you've got some belts wrapping around that. So what we're going to start with is quite literally that. I don't want to spend too much time on the simulation. I'm sorry if my chair is noisy, by the way, but we're going to do what I did before. I'm just going to grab some toruses. So let's take that. We'll head into display and just hop into dual shading lines so we can see what we're doing. And we can start playing with these segments. So to start off with, let's just make something usable, something like that. We want these squares to be as uniform as you sort of can get them at this point. And then we can drop this into a cloner just to create a few multiples. Set this to radial. Let's set the count to something like 3 and then work up from there. Something important to note when you work with simulations is just scale of your geometry in general. And here we're working with 150, so it's nothing which is like crazily out there. This should run quite fine. If we just quickly, as a precaution, head to our project settings and go to the new simulation tab, we're running in 2023. We can set the scene gravity to 0 because we don't want to be working with any gravity, and just make sure we're running at 300 frames. So we can save up, important, always takes me a minute to type, right? And then we can start playing with this. So let's right click, go to simulation and grab I think you can do either cloth or soft body, and cloth tends to have a little more creases. So I say, let's try soft body for now. We're going to see some of those connections that C4D is trying to draw there. And if we play, it's not crashing, which is a plus. So let's just grab some forces so we can get this render in. So let's go to simulate forces and let's just grab an attractor force for start. This by default is just going to attract them to the sort of infinite point right in the center, and that's not what we're after. So what we want to do is create a field. We're going to create a spherical field for start. And just as an explanation, this is basically a zone where their attractive force is going to be active, right? So right now, outside of this sphere, there's 0 attraction force. But inside of it, it's going to be activated. We don't want that. We want them to collide and sort of, if they reach outside of here, be brought back in again. So what we can do is click the invert button here, and then we can grab the scale tool just to scale this up slightly. And what we'll see is that should we go into forces here, we can set the mode to include and then drag this attractor straight in. And when we play, we probably need to turn the strength up a fair amount. Let's turn up something like 100 maybe. Have a little play around. They are moving, so maybe 500. You can probably set this to force or something. We can see these colliding. It's going to take a minor little bit of tweaking here. You can see they're quite solid. We'll just keep cranking this up until we're getting the kind of result we want. This looks pretty good, but maybe slightly too fast. So let's go for 3000. And we can see we're getting some nice, almost like rubber dinghy type effects here. Let's drop into the soft body quickly and see if we can mess with any of these to make it a little more interesting. So we can get some stretchiness, maybe some bounciness. Let's dial this up. You can see we're starting to get more of a jelly-like effect here, which is pretty cool.